Hello, welcome to another edition of Kaz's Corner video. Those that are regular subscribers to the Southsider Voice, click on the Kaz's Corner and you see this ugly puss. And I apologize for our absence for the last month and a half or so. It's a combination of a little illness and a lot of holiday and just a whole lot of things going on. But in any event, here we are back again, and we're sitting in the office of the Society of the St. Vincent de Paul, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and my good friend Pat Gerald is the president. And Pat, welcome to Kaz's Corner.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
You have quite a story to tell. St. Vincent de Paul is an international organization founded in France, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, 1833.
And kind of take us forward from there.
Okay. Well, it was founded by a college student by the name of Frederick Ozanam, went to the University of Paris in 1833, and kind of got challenged to practice his Catholic faith by helping the people in the Boweries of Paris. So he set about doing that with some college buddies, and it expanded around the world. Started in 1845 in St. Louis, Missouri, and today in the United States we have about 80,000 members. We operate in 143 countries around the world. We have about 800,000 members total. And our mission is to redistribute God's blessings from people that have it to people that don't. That's our mission.
It's a great way to put it. Yeah. Well, getting a little more local, we're sitting at the distribution center on East Maryland, 1200 block of East Maryland. Tell us about this place and also the place on 30th Street.
Okay. We have actually three what we call special works projects where members of St. Vincent de Paul throughout the Indianapolis area team together to support the operations. And this is our distribution center, 1201 East Maryland Street, where we give out household items. That's furniture, bedding, clothing, and appliances on a referral basis. So a person that needs any of these items has to call our helpline. A volunteer takes the information, routes it to a St. Vincent de Paul member in their neighborhood. They do a home visit and verify the need and give them vouchers, and then the client brings the vouchers down to the distribution center on Saturday and picks up the items they need. And that's how it works. So we're open every Saturday except holiday weekends throughout the year.
I think it's important to note that a person can't just walk in off the street. They have to have gone through the parish cleansing process.
For household items, we do have some homeless walk-in clients that we serve on Saturday morning to get clothing items. But if you need household items like beds or appliances, yes, you need to call our helpline, 687-0169, and that's answered by volunteers Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30.
Tell us about the food center, the food bank.
We've been in the neighborhood food ministry since June of '99. We had a small pantry down on Span Avenue. And in 2007, we opened a larger facility up at 3001 East 30th Street, across from Washington Park, where I used to go sledding when I was a kid, ironically enough. And that service is a walk-in basis. It's like a grocery store. It's like Aldi's, where everything is on carts or pallets, and it's a client choice concept where if there's one person in the household, they get 15 points per visit. If there's two or more in the household, they get 20 points per visit. And they shop just like a grocery store, and like a can of beans or a can of soup is 1 point each. A meat item might be 2 or 3 or 4 points, and they spend their points. So they decide what they take out of there.
Is there any pre-screening, or can for a person walk in off the street?
They can walk in off the street, but we have a registration process. We have a computer database where we track them. And the state of Indiana gives us eligibility guidelines for food pantries in the state of Indiana, which is I think it's about 180% of the federal poverty level. So they have to sign a statement the first visit that their income falls within those guidelines. And we also give out U.S. Department of Agriculture commodities through Gleaners Food Bank, and so that's part of the eligibility requirements.
Food stamps would not enter into this.
Food stamps does not enter into this. This is a faith-based ministry. We get our food from Gleaners Food Bank. We pay them a small share fee because they have paid employees and overhead. And we get about 60% of our food from Gleaners. We get about 20% from another food bank in Fort Wayne. And we get about 10% from another food bank, Midwest Food Bank, that's down on the south side.
Oh yeah, that's
37 in Banta.
Sure.
They give us stuff free of charge. We also get food from Second Helpings. They've been very good to us. Not any prepared food. We don't prepare meals. We don't serve meals, but it's surplus food stuff.
It's not a soup kitchen.
It's not a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
We do have a cathedral kitchen down in the old Cathedral Grade School at 14th in Pennsylvania that serves meals.
Are there any geographic boundaries that folks can qualify, have to be within?
No, basically central Indiana for the Client Choice Pantry. We try to serve the Marion County and the contiguous counties, and if they can get to the pantry, we serve them.
What are your hours on 30th Street?
Okay, the hours on 30th Street, we're open Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon, and we're open Thursday evening from 5 to 7 p.m. That's every week except holiday weeks.
What's the address?
3001 East 30th Street. It's about halfway between Keystone Avenue and Sherman Drive on East 30th Street, right across from Washington Park.
Talk a little about your volunteers, because you are a volunteer. You're the president. How long have you been involved with St. Vincent de Paul?
I've probably been involved about 25 years or so, although when I was raising a family, a very occasional basis. The other thing we do on Saturday out of the distribution center, we send out trucks to pick up donated items. I used to drive a truck, and loads of fun exploring the city. You know, you got a map and 10 or 12 stops, and try to find the stops and pick up the donated items and get them back here. So I did that for quite a few years occasionally. And then once I retired in 2005, I started getting more involved with our new pantry on 30th Street. And
retired from?
Retired from what now is Raytheon Technical Services. Started out Naval Avionics, Naval Air Warfare Center. So
and the managerial talents there, have you applied here?
I think so. Managing volunteers is different than managing paid employees.
Yes, it is.
You know, they can walk if they're not happy. I tell people volunteering is a gift that you give, and you decide when you give it and how much you give it. So we have a very great volunteer group that I'm very proud of, because they're just trying to help somebody else. They're not focused on their own problems or issues. They're just trying to help somebody else. So we get along very well.
Mention the couple that I met in the kitchen before we came in here.
Okay.
Your local
Jim
managers and the number of hours. Yep. Extraordinary story right there.
Yep. Betty Farrell has been with St. Vincent de Paul through 2 or 3 locations of the distribution center. She's been a volunteer for 30 years, 31 years, something like that. Her husband Jim also volunteers down here, and Betty probably puts in 50, 60 hours a week. She runs this distribution center, and it's a very busy job, and she just does a great job. She's got a great heart for helping the poor.
Well, if a person watching this is in St. Roch Parish or St. Lawrence, whatever, how would they go about saying, "Hey, pick me"?
To volunteer?
Yes.
They can just show up. Our distribution center operation is very busy on Saturday. They can come down on a Saturday, get here a little before 8 a.m. and sign in, and they'll get a little orientation, and they can dig right in, and they can either go out on a truck route or stay inside and serve the clients. At our Client Choice Pantry, same thing. Just show up on a Tuesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday. We do have at the pantry, we do have some restocking going on Mondays and Wednesdays and food sorting, so they could probably come down any day at the pantry. We do also, if potential volunteers are retired and they want to volunteer during the week, they could come down to the distribution center on a Monday or a Wednesday morning, primarily. And we do special pickups, we do clothes sorting, various tasks like that.
Now, is there someone that mans the phone here on a regular basis during their working hours?
Well, the phone here, Betty pretty much answers the phone. She has a pocket phone. At our pantry, we have a receptionist area. We have a lobby and a receptionist area.
Let's have some numbers, because someone might want to call and say, I didn't get all those hours, so tell me, you know, who would they call?
Sure. Well, the best thing to do is get on our website.
Which is?
svdpindy.org.
Repeat that.
svdpindy.org.
Pretty simple.
And it'll tell all about our distribution center, our pantry, how to volunteer, how to donate items, and all that. If they can, if they want to volunteer and they want some more information for the distribution center, they can call the distribution center 687-8258. That's the number that Betty answers here. They can call our pantry at 921-1401.
These, of course, are all area code 317.
They are.
Since we're here.
They are.
In a little bit, I'd like to maybe go out and do a little filming and
Absolutely.
people an idea. But before we do that, let's go back a step.
Okay.
You said a person needs help. They're referred to the parish. Could a person call, for instance, a non-Catholic not knowing, could they call the parish office and say, hey, I need help, what do I do?
Sure. I mean, the thing they need to do is call our helpline, because while we're a Catholic-based organization, we're not part of the Catholic Church.
Right.
But our grassroots organization, or what we call parish conferences, groups of St. Vincent de Paul volunteers in the parishes, are based at the various Catholic parishes around town. So they need to call our helpline, 687-0169. We have a Hispanic helpline, 687-0167, that's answered by bilingual people, and that's how they get plugged into our services. If they call the Catholic parish, the receptionist at the parish will tell them to call our helpline.
I see.
More than likely.
But eventually then that is referred back to whatever parish this caller happens to be in. And
Yeah.
a volunteer from that parish normally will go out and do the home visit.
Yes, the St. Vincent de Paul group in that parish will go out and do the home visit.
I talked with one of those persons one time. He said, you'd be surprised sometimes they want, you know, a 52-inch television. You get to the house and find out that they've got a couple of 40s. And
that's why we're fairly unique in social services, that we do home visits, because you're very right. They may call and they say, I need a refrigerator, and you go do a home visit, the kids are sleeping on the floor, they got no food. Right, they got no refrigerator, but they got a lot more needs than what they told you about.
Sure.
And being in need is difficult for a lot of people. I mean, they got to swallow their pride and ask for help. And some people that doesn't bother, but most people, particularly the people from the middle class that have now lost their jobs, it's hard to ask for help. So that's why we do the home visit, is to get a holistic assessment of what all they need and then make the proper referrals.
And your responsibilities extend throughout basically the state of Indiana? Or
well,
where's
central
your
and southern Indiana. Our St. Vincent de Paul, I represent the Archdiocesan Council of Indianapolis for St. Vincent de Paul, and our service area is the same as the Catholic Archdiocese of Indianapolis. So basically central and southern Indiana. Southwest Indiana, over by Evansville, has a separate St. Vincent de Paul Council, and it conforms to the Evansville Archdiocese boundaries. But our boundaries go all the way to the Ohio River, Madison and New Albany and down in there.
Well, I commend you. That's a big responsibility, and it's you're like a CEO of a major organization. You've got a lot of ends to. A lot of balls to keep in the air. It's been
an interesting tour. I'm in my 4th year. I've got two more years as council president, and I really I do it to give back to the community, and I do it because I love being around the volunteers. The volunteers are just happy people because they're trying to help somebody else.
That's extraordinary, and it's heartening to know there still are people out there who are willing to volunteer. It isn't all the me, I.
Right.
They truly want to reach out and help.
And they enjoy it. They enjoy it. It's a social thing for them. I told you about 3 Special Works ministries. Our 3rd Special Work ministry is called Beggars for the Poor. It operates out of this distribution center facility, and every Saturday throughout the year, holiday or not, a group of volunteers gathers in a school cafeteria, fixes a hot breakfast very early Saturday morning. They bring it down here to the distribution center, load it on a truck with clothing items and personal hygiene items. They drive down to Roberts Park Methodist Church parking lot down at Delaware and Mass, and anywhere from 50 to 150 homeless are there waiting for them.
Yeah,
and they serve that
remarkable.
breakfast and give them some clothing items, give them some pudding cups and fruit cups that they can, single serve items that they can get through the week with, and give them some toothpaste and shaving cream and that kind of stuff. And that's our 3rd Special Work ministry.
Who knows how many lives maybe just that program in itself is.
Absolutely, and with all the foreclosures going on, there are families on the street. There are families on the street.
I believe it. I believe it.
So it really helps people.
Well, we're going to take a little break here and go out into the warehouse and maybe get some hands-on and see just exactly what goes on here. Don't go away. We'll be back.
This building is the old J.C. Hirschman mattress factory, so it's well over 100 years old. I'm sure you can tell that. This area right here is the Appliance Repair area. And we have retired volunteers down here on Monday and Wednesday, as I mentioned. And every donated appliance that comes in, whether it's a coffee maker or a stove or a washer dryer, these guys tear them down, they clean them up, they make sure they're in working order, and when they're satisfied they're in working order, they put a little OK tag on it.
How about that?
That tells the Saturday volunteers that it's okay to give it out.
Well, most of the stuff comes in here is operable, is it not?
Well, some is, some isn't. I mean, we really struggle getting enough donated major appliances, so we'll take major appliances that don't operate because these guys can fix whatever they need to fix.
I see.
So we'll take them and make them in working order. And we've got appliance parts sources that we go get the guys go get the parts and get them in working order. So
well, that's a challenge unto itself.
it is.
Those things operable.
They are wizards. They really are. Baby beds. They put together baby beds. Check them out. They repair furniture, re-glue, repair furniture, lamps. You name it. We send out 4 fundraising letters a year, and we have about between 7,000 and 8,000 individuals and businesses on our mailing list, and in comes $800,000 in donations.
That is amazing.
The most amazing part of our donor base is that 65% of our donors give us $100 or less a year. We have thousands of small donors and very few large donors, but that's how we get our money.
And I assume you should put a plug in here to remember St. Vincent de Paul in the will.
Absolutely. We have gotten a couple of huge bequests recently that's really helping us with some capital improvements on our 30th Street property. That's a 65,000 square foot building, and we had some major facilities issues we had to address with roofing and exterior block work and paving and that type of thing. So
let's keep moving. Let's see some more of the stuff you got in here.
Okay.
I think it should be made known, obviously, you're a 501c3.
That's right.
And you provide receipts for donations?
We do. And people can donate online. If they get on our svdpindy.org website, we have a PayPal account, and they can make a donation online, or they can send a donation to St. Vincent de Paul, 3001 East 30th Street, Indianapolis, 46218. and they can send us donations.
You've got
that way.
PayPal, huh?
We do. We do.
That's good.
And we'll send an acknowledgement letter for all donations, and we send an end of the year receipt for tax purposes.
I see.
This room here is our furniture room. A lot of living room, couches, chairs, dinette sets. Our bedding area is over there. Bed frames. The other challenge we have besides major appliances is bedding. With the bed bug issue and the retailers not wanting to give us traded in bedding anymore, we have to go out and purchase refurbished bedding. We get it from Chicago Mattress Company. It's excellent. That's the maroon color bedding you see over there. It's virtually new because they tear it down to the frame, put all new ticking on it. But it costs us about $100 for a full set or a queen set. That's a mattress and box springs.
I see.
So we spend probably $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And the only thing we do with our trucks is we go out and pick up donated items.
I see.
We'll send anywhere from 6 to 8 trucks out every Saturday to pick up donated items.
Now, do you have any annual dinners, fundraising dinners?
We do
events?
have an annual fundraising breakfast. We started a couple years ago. It's called the Frederick Ozanam Breakfast after our founder. It's on the first Wednesday of May at our pantry facility. We welcome business leaders and people that own businesses to come and find out more about us. We usually have a little speaker presentation and a hot breakfast and a tour of the facility. And we just started that, like I say, 2 years ago. In here we got children's clothing, we got women's clothing, shoes, coats, whatever they need.
Like I say, this is all donated. I mean,
it's all donated. It's all donated. And that window back there is a linen room. If we give out beds and they need blankets, sheets, pillowcases, towels, then they go to that window and they're allowed to take a couple sets of whatever they need.
Sure.
For linens. So.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
It's all donated.
Now, are these people limited to maybe one visit a year or 6 months, or
well,
how do you handle that?
Clothing, they can pretty much come as often as they want with a voucher. For the major appliances and some of the furniture items, we limit them to once a year.
I see.
Because what we found out was happening, people living in poverty move a lot from apartment to apartment, and they were leaving their stuff because they couldn't afford to have anybody move it. They go to a new apartment and then they call us again and we'd re-outfit them again. So we limit major appliances and most of our furniture items to once a year.
Well, this is very revealing of what's going on in our society right now, and it's people like Pat Jarrell and a lot of other people that are concerned about other people wanting to donate their time. And Indianapolis and the world is blessed with people like those. And Tom, Pat, I'm sorry, I congratulate you and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it.
And that's a wrap this time for Kaz's Corner. We'll see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.